Hi, my name is Aditya and I'm a second year student at IIM Bangalore. Recently, I got an opportunity to interact with the students of the new program offered by IIM Bangalore, which is the BBA in Digital Business and Entrepreneurship. It was a panel discussion on the topic Journey to CAT and Life at IIM. Of course, there were a lot of questions related to CAT journey and how to get through the exam. And honestly, I couldn't answer or express myself to the fullest simply because of the limited time that was available to us to answer all those questions. And at the same time, I've been at the same place around a year back. So I understand the tension in the crowd and the tension in the minds of people. So here I am on YouTube creating a video about that. And I've always wanted to do this. But yeah, so this is an attempt to answer all those questions through my own journey from a 92 percentile in CAT'23 to a 99.6 in CAT'24. CAT wasn't easy for me in the first place. My first attempt ended with a 92 in which I scored a 0 in the DILR section, and Quant also went horribly. To give you a little context, I'm an engineer from NIT Allahabad, and competitive exams aren't something that was new to me. I was familiar with the kind of aptitude questions as I've given exams in the past, and in spite of having a decent level of preparation for almost 4 to 5 months, doing everything that's usually asked for, like finishing the syllabus, giving mocks, analyzing them, I still crashed the CAT exam. So looking back, I realized there were some things that were definitely missing in my approach, which I was eventually able to fix in my second attempt. So to begin with, let me set the baseline for this video. There are two things that have to be kept in mind. Number one, CAT is a challenging exam. I know this might sound vague, but the people who say that CAT is not challenging and it's like 10th and 12th level questions that come, that's not the case. CAT is not challenging because of the level of difficulty of the questions, but rather the competitive environment that gets created around. An easy question in an exam is not just an easy question, but it's a question if you miss, the other 99% people are not going to miss it, right? And the second is the preparation for CAT is very subjective. There is no right or wrong strategy, and eventually you will have to find one for yourself, and I'll tell you how to do it. Starting early is often underestimated. People usually talk about CAT as an exam which requires no more than 3 to 4 months of preparation, but I don't quite agree with that. Let me bring forth the point that I already mentioned, that CAT preparation is very subjective. The ability of people to grasp different concepts is very different. I have friends over here, trust me, they've not even prepared properly for the CAT exam. They just looked at 1 or 2 mocks and gave the final exam and ended up converting IIM Bangalore. So the ability of people to learn concepts varies a lot, and you must not challenge the exam by giving it less time by choice. Personally, after my first attempt ended, I began preparation for CAT'24 at around February or March. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, today is 24th June. If you're preparing for CAT'26, I would urge you to start as early as possible. Giving more time to the preparation just helps you find out your strengths and weaknesses and helps you prepare better for the exam. So starting as early as possible is the first thing you should do. So understanding the syllabus becomes the second important thing that I wanted to highlight. I'm intentionally calling it understanding and not completing because these are two different things. Completing the syllabus is the first step that all of us usually follow. So let me tell you how I completed the syllabus in my first attempt. So for the VARC section, there's no fixed syllabus. Anything and everything that seems to be related to literature could be asked in the VARC section. A good way to complete your syllabus around it is simply to go through the previous year mocks, previous year CAT exams and various mock exams or sectionals, where you will be exposed to all different types of questions that are going to be asked in the section, and practicing is something through which you'll improve in it. Coming to the DILR section, I completed my syllabus or got an idea of the syllabus through YouTube playlists for DILR questions. There are n number of playlists available which you can access and get an idea of all sorts of questions that can be asked in DILR. Finally, for the quant section, I refer to Rodha's playlist. Rodha is a channel which provides free playlist of the entire CAT syllabus, and he covers it a lot in detail. In fact, there's also an advanced section there which I myself skipped because it felt too difficult, honestly, and I didn't feel that was important for the exam. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is completing the syllabus is the first aspect of it, but what differed between my first approach and the second approach is not obsessing over completing the syllabus. Why, you would ask? It's because the syllabus never gets completed. If you keep on revising, making formula sheets, going back to the theory parts of it, you'll never feel that you've truly understood everything, because the actual learning happens through practical applications of the things. A formula that is being used in one way in a certain question may not get used in the same way in the other question. So true learning or true understanding of the syllabus actually happens through practice. So the advice for this part would simply be to not obsess over completing your syllabus, switch to practicing as early as possible. Finally, the most important and my favorite part of the journey is the practice and the mocks. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of these mock exams. Guys, everything that's being told on the internet about mocks being very important is actually very, very true. Instead of obsessing over completing your syllabus, obsess over giving more mocks and analyzing them. What actually differed between my first attempt and my second attempt was the number of mocks that I gave and analyzed. In my first attempt, I was focusing mainly on the theoretical aspects of things, giving a mock, not analyzing it enough, and then switching towards the theory part again and again. But on my second attempt, I did something crazy. It's not something that I would advise everyone to do, but this is the brute force approach that I use, and it worked for me. I took up 3 mock test series with a full-time job in parallel. These were Time, Career Launcher, and the IMS SimCAT series, right? So I was giving 3 mocks. My first mock was Friday night, the second one was Saturday morning, and the third one was Sunday morning. And I didn't feel like doing anything else on the weekend, so I just dedicated it to giving mocks, these 3 mocks. And the rest of the week, alongside my full-time job, I spent in analyzing these mocks. So yeah, ended up giving more than 40 to 45 mocks, in fact more than 50 if I'm not wrong. And that is what truly prepared me for the exam. And I was able to make sense of all the topics in a way that if I looked at a topic, I knew what kind of question could be asked from it. If I looked at a question, I knew immediately what approach to apply on it. So that is the level of understanding you need to build by the time your exam comes, so that you look at a topic and you know how to approach this. That is the only way you're going to crack this exam, or rather smash this exam if I'm not wrong. So towards the end, all your learning is happening through mocks. You give a mock, you analyze it, you see what are the theoretical concepts that you've not learned or you're missing. You go back to your theoretical notebooks, make note of the topics that you've not that are your weaknesses, or the kind of questions that you're not familiar with. Learn them or practice on them, and come back and give another mock and see if you're improving on that. And that's the whole process of it. So learning through mock is the key learning from this part of the video. Another suggestion that I have for you regarding practice is daily targets. All these coaching institutes have these daily targets, which are like 3 mini tests, one each from Quant, VARC and DILR, which you can do on a daily basis, even on days when you're very tired or you have very less time. All it does is it keeps you in touch with all the topics, and even on days when you're not feeling like studying anything, it will help you do a bare minimum, which will just give you that confidence boost. So daily targets is also something I highly recommend alongside mocks. So finally, coming to one important part that is not under your control, which is your luck on the exam day. Luck plays a very crucial role in this. CAT is essentially a filtering exam, not an intelligence exam. So what happens on the final day could be very different, right, from the level of preparation you have. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Try and prepare for the worst situation. Prepare every topic. Don't go around all these myths that you can skip so and so topic, or you only need to attempt 10 questions to get a 99 percentile in quant. All of these things are technically true, but practically useless. Because for example, if you want to attempt 10 questions to get a 99 percentile in quant, how are you sure that the 10 questions that you're picking are the ones you'll do it right? So you need to prepare for 1,000 questions to be able to pick those 10 questions and do it correctly. And yeah, don't be too harsh on yourself, and yeah, focus on your health and your mental well-being. And that's it for this one. I understand that this video was a little bit rushed, but I have my class in half an hour. So I would love to answer your questions in the comment section. So just comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more content on MBA, lifestyle and fitness. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.